Good afternoon and welcome to AMGC's In Conversation With webinar for April. It's April already. My name is Charmaine Phillips and I'm the Director here in the Northern Territory for AMGC, the Advanced Manufacturing Growth Centre. So thank you for taking your time out of your day to join in on our conversation. I'd like to begin the session with acknowledgement to country. So in the spirit of reconciliation, AMGC acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects today from Larrakia land up in the north to all our elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us here today from whichever land that you are on. So this 30-minute webinar is part of a series that was designed to give manufacturers information on national bodies that are available to support and assist them with their manufacturing endeavours. So today I have with me Monique English, the Engagement Manager for Manufacturing at Standards Australia. Welcome, Monique. It's good to have you here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Charmaine.
So today's conversation will take about 20 minutes. So if you do have any questions, please use the chat function. You will be muted throughout the webinar because we are recording it, but send your questions through. I've allowed about 5 to 10 minutes at the end to answer them. So let's get started, Monique. So to start the conversation today, can you please tell us about Standards Australia, how long it's been operating and its purpose?
Absolutely. Thank you. Standards Australia is the national standards body of Australia. We were formed in 1922, so just celebrated our 100-year centenary. We're a public purpose organisation, so we're an independent, not-for-profit organisation. And really our role as a public purpose organisation is to ensure that all the work that we do has a clear net benefit to Australia. So our role really is to provide the governance, the technical infrastructure, and the neutral facilitation to develop and adopt standards in the national interest. So standards are one of many tools that manufacturers can use to make their systems, processes, and products safe, reliable, and sustainable. Standards Australia is also the member for the International Organisation of Standardization, so ISO, and also the International Electrotechnical Commission, the IEC. So that is our role to ensure that Australia participates on the international playing field. So we operate many technical committees across a variety of different sectors, such as manufacturing, agriculture, electrotechnical, and construction. We're a member-based organisation, and we have around 16,000 contributors across a wide range of technical committees. Currently, we've got 422 technical committees across all different sectors. Most of our committee members are nominated by what we call nominating organisations. The nominating organisations are member organisations, such as industry bodies, associations and the like, who then nominate a representative to represent their broad member view on standard setting. And so we have close to 3,000 nominating organisations at the moment who help develop and prepare the technical content for standards. I want to also make a note that standards are voluntary unless they're taken up into regulation or they're called up in a contract.
Wow, that was a lot of information.
So let's reach out to me at any time.
Yeah, so let's break that down a bit through some of our questions. So like many Australian manufacturers, many of the manufacturers here in the Northern Territory are SMEs or innovative startups. So as the Engagement Manager for Manufacturing, what are some of the ways or services that Standards Australia provide that can help support these smaller manufacturers?
Absolutely. So standards form part of a set of tools that SMEs can use to help innovate and manufacture to industry best practice. So standards, where possible, will be performance-based, and therefore they provide the guide rails to innovate around materials, methods and procedures so that they can achieve the required performance and reliability. So using standards can provide SMEs the assurance that if they implement the use of a standard, that they are following the best practice, and they can really acknowledge the leverage of standard setters globally to improve, innovate and increase efficiency. I want to say that Standards Australia hold the MOU with the Commonwealth, and part of that MOU sets out where possible Australia should adopt international standards in accordance with the World Organization Technical Barriers to Trade. And through Australia either adopting those or modifying them for a national variation, you can also leverage that international know-how from all of those countries who prepare standards within that space. I'd also love to call out Standards Australia Next Generation program, which everybody can apply for. And really what that sets out to do is get the next gen involved. So standards provide a public purpose, and it also provides those people who have the technical expertise to be able to contribute to that efficiency, to the innovation, and also provide meaningful input into their industry. And so the Next Gen program is a personal development program that you can apply for. The program takes you through a mentorship program, professional development, but it also includes information and courses around the development of standards. It also provides the opportunity to get involved in that standardization and have a really great understanding of how a standard is developed and what makes a robust standard. So the goal for Next Gen is that it supports the future of standards development through investing in the next generation of leaders and experts. So program participants can gain all the skills to be involved in standard setting, from small SMEs all the way through the large scale. What we're looking for is the Next Gen who have interest in the development of standards and have the technical expertise, and it's open to everybody. So I've put a little plug in there to jump onto the Standards Australia website and navigate to the Next Gen program. And if you have interest, you can apply through that for the next intake, which will be for the 24-25 year. Highly encourage you to get involved. It's a great program.
So that's businesses working in any industry and sector, emerging or traditional?
Absolutely, yes. Any sector. It's not sector specific.
Right.
So more the merrier, and very welcome.
Perfect. And is there any cost to that for our SMEs?
It's free.
Oh, good plug. So
Yeah.
I guess if you are interested, go and have a look at that. That's a good support platform, I guess, for our smaller manufacturers, medium.
It absolutely provides them a seat at the table, you know, with global setters as well. So great opportunity to network, peer development, and also increasing capacity and knowledge of what's happening globally as well.
Right. So I guess with manufacturing evolving and advancing at a rapid rate, how does Standards Australia keep up with the development and adoption of any new standards that may be required?
Yes, absolutely. It is rapidly evolving, and you know, every day both international standard setting organisations are publishing new standards. So what we do is we're industry led, and what that means is that we actively engage with industry on what standards are required, or what's happening internationally, and where there's value for Australia to contribute on that international platform. So we keep watch of technical activity coming out of both ISO and IEC. And when we see that coming through, we will always actively engage industry through consultation for input. So that's how we sort of connect the dots between Australian manufacturers and SMEs through to that global landscape. As an example, last year, Australia became a member of one of the IEC, which is the International Electrotechnical Commission's Technical Committee on Smart Manufacturing. So this technical committee was responsible for coordination and advice in smart manufacturing, which plans to harmonise all of the activities across the IEC, but as well as other SDOs as well, which is a standard development organisation. So Australia felt there was real need and value to participate the committee, not only to increase Australia's knowledge in smart manufacturing, but they also saw the value in learning from the major users of the smart technologies. Well, I will say, you know, Australia really is innovating and developing smart tools at a rapid pace, but there was certainly value for participating in the Smart Manufacturing Technical Committee. I also want to say that any member of the public, any SME, anybody could submit a proposal to adopt standards, but to also create new standards as well. But we've also just recently had approved what we call an alternative pathway for standards development projects. And that's for new and emerging industries where they don't have a current technical committee. And this is a faster pace method of developing the standards that an emerging industry would need to help growth and scalability. So if you've got any ideas there, or you're seeing challenges, there's processes that you think would be a great standard, please reach out and we're happy to guide you through the process.
And I guess without giving too much away, what do you classify as emerging industries? So the ones that have kind of put in this bucket on their own.
It really is where there's no current technical activity through standardization. So we, the tick boxes, we have no technical committee in that spot, in that space, but also where they may not have the framework set up in terms of association and industry bodies. It's a new method, procedure, material that has the research and methodologies behind it, but it hasn't been standardized yet. There's no particular industry or material or focus. It is just what is needed by industry.
So nothing's off the table, that's what you're saying?
Nothing's off the table, absolutely.
That's good to hear. So if we do have any innovative manufacturers out there, because I know that AMGC has supported many innovative projects under our commercialisation fund, and you do want standards either developed or created or adopted, then definitely reach out to Standards Australia and they may be able to help sort that out for you.
Absolutely. We have a team of engagement managers across sectors who can help you. So we do help you with the proposal. We do all the consultation work and get that through our approvals process. So we guide and help along the whole way.
Great. So I've got 2 more questions to go. So before we do open up questions to the attendees, for those businesses who haven't previously looked into adopting standards, can you tell us a little bit more about the nominated organisations you mentioned earlier that can support these businesses when adopting new standards?
Absolutely. So the nominating organisations are the most important part of one of our framework. So the committee of technical experts consists of various interest groups, and they're nominated by the nominating organisations, so associations, industry bodies, regulatory authorities, government, and so on. So they appoint individuals who represent their broad member body. So to qualify as a nomal, you need to have represent a particular interest, and you must be a member organisation that can actually ensure broad membership view to ensure that it's heard and expressed through the standards development process. So it's one way of, so nomals help their members by advocating for change, revisions, and to provide input into standards development process. We'll also consult with nominating organisations on new proposals for new work through either new standards or revisions. And we also provide consultation and ask any member of the public to also provide input through our transparent processes, through the proposal system at first, and then also at the end of a project where it must go out for a mandatory of 9 weeks public comment. So lots of transparency to ensure that there's member feedback on standards development work. And it's all available on our website. But certainly nomals are a keystone in that, as they provide technical input, but also help advocate for their members as well. If you're a member of a nominating organisation, such as an association or a member body, you can also express your interest to participate on a technical committee to represent their association and the members. You can also reach out to Standards Australia and we can help guide you on which nominating organisations are on that technical committee. And we also look at that balance to ensure a broad range of stakeholders' views are heard. So on our website, you can create a profile. From there, you can see the list of proposals that are out for consultation. You can also look at projects to see what nominating organisations are on those technical committees, if you have interest to represent those. You can also see standards that are at public comment, and it's really important that if you see a standard you want to comment, please jump on and make those comments. It's really important. Technical committee appreciate everybody's input into the final draft. If you have any questions at all, you can reach out to any of the engagement team or myself, and we can put you in the right direction of nominating organisations and do appropriate introductions.
Yeah, I was just having a look on your website while you were talking about the drafts open for public comment, and there are a few manufacturing ones there. So definitely if you're working in some of those spaces, pop over and have a look. We'll give you the email address towards the end if you, not the email address, sorry, the web address at the end if you haven't Googled it already. And finally, AMGC appreciates that manufacturing is a capability and products can be made in any sector. Do you have any advice for those businesses that haven't yet looked to adopt standards in their business and the benefits of doing so?
I do. So standards are accessible and they're really a tool for doing business. They're just another set of tools that you might use within your business, such as a computer or a trowel or a screwdriver. They all form part of ensuring that the work that you do is efficient, safe, and that it's maximising sustainability and all those sort of key outcomes that you are looking for as a standard user. So we've just launched a mobile app as well that allows for really competitive pricing and gets the standards that you need out of a page and in your hand through a mobile app. For example, with the manufacturing, a lot of those standards at the moment in our mobile set are specifically around the National Construction Code standard and the sets that are required for construction. So I just want to call out as an example, the concrete set of standards, which includes 7 standards, is available on the mobile app for around $26 a year, and that's for the 7 publications you need. So really cost effective and a really easy way for you to get the standards in your hand when you're on the job site or on the manufacturing floor to see what you need. So we also provide accessibility through our public access reader room, and that's be able to provide members of the public access to a standard for use in a non-commercial way. So on our website, you'll find a public access button, the reader room. You can jump on and get a couple of tokens so you can view a standard for your own personal interest. There's also many distributors of standards as well, and you can see them via our website as well. But really, standards are the unsung heroes of the world. So when we think about standards, they really are the reason why we don't get electrocuted when we turn a light on, or why our children are safe in their bunk beds. And just when you get something out of a box and you plug it in, it works consistently and as expected. And that really is the beauty of a standard.
Yeah, and if people are looking for standards on the website, I don't have the app, so I haven't tested it. It is a very simple keyword search, and then you move around quite easily through the results. So it's very, very user friendly. Okay, thank you, Monique. Now we'll see if there were any questions. I'm sure Monique would be happy to answer them. Let me just get into the chat area. Okay, there's one here from Peter Schreiner. Geometric dimensioning and tolerancing, GD&T, has re-emerged as being necessary in Australia's design and manufacturing industry, partially covered by AS 1100, however, not adequately aligns to ASME Y 14.5. Are you aware of those two certifications or standards there to comment on that?
I wouldn't be able to comment on the technical aspects of it, but Peter, what I would recommend is that you reach out to Standards Australia if there is a misalignment, or you would recommend a proposal to make those changes. We can take you through become a proponent to make those changes, and what we can take you through the proposal process and how we would work with the proponent on those aspects. So any member of the public, if they see something within a standard that needs to be updated or they think that needs to be revised, please put in a proposal. And committee often are very welcome to feedback as well. So I would take the technical part offline, but can liaise directly with you on that as well.
Okay, so there are some
Oh,
Thank you.
1992, yes. Well, that's definitely time for a revision. Generally, there's so what the process is that at 10 years it becomes an age standard, and we have a systematic review where a committee will either reconfirm it, say it needs to be revised, or withdraw it. So I'm not sure of the status of the 1100, but Peter, if you wanted to reach out directly, we can chat offline.
Great, and thanks, Jeff. There are a couple of questions in the Q&A area. So one from Jeff Andrews, following on from Charmaine's question about keeping up, how long does it typically take to progress from an idea for a standard to the standard being published?
Right, it's how long is a piece of string? So a couple of processes. So if it's a new and emerging technology where there's through any alternative pathway, the process can be slightly quicker. The reason being is that we would, instead of constituting a technical committee, we put together a project committee, so a group of experts, which is a little bit quicker than a full constitution. So we can do some time saving from there. We also can provide support to provide technical writers and draft support to ensure that the standards are developed and through a more official process. We still have to go out for a 60-day of public comment, but we can certainly have time saving on that. As we generally, standards can take anywhere between 6 months to 2 years to write, depending on its complexity and whether it's referencing or utilising other work. So we have a copyright team that can support us with if we're utilising other standard setting bodies standards as well. So we can definitely, so it's from a proposal process, it's around 2 weeks consultation and then further conversations on if we get feedback. We then have a monthly approvals meeting through our production management group, who will then assess the proposal against our quality criteria and then either approve it or we'll go back to the proponent if there's further suggestions before it gets approved. It then is assigned as a project, and Standards Australia resources it and provides a project manager to ensure that the committee or the project committee is on track. We provide all the systems and tools to get that done. The committee or the project committee would then have agreed timelines to develop the content. But it's really difficult to say, 6 months to 2 years would be fairly average, which gives you a pretty long piece of string.
Great answer, Monique, to a great question. Thank you, Jeff. We've got one here from Kelly Gordeau. What about adopting standards from highly regulated countries such as Germany, for example, versus creating our own? So in other words, is there a shortcut to leverage existing standards and not need to create Australians' own standards?
Absolutely. Going back to our World Organization Barriers to Trade agreement, we would always look to adopt internationally first. And we have the relationships and accessibility to adopt not only ISO and IEC standards, but we can work with regional bodies such as EM standards or BS standards or American standards as required that would fit Australian industry. But yeah, absolutely. We would always look first, and probably the first question that our engagement team would ask any proponent is what international standards already exist that we could leverage.
All right, I'll give everyone a 2-minute warning to put any final questions in. Jeff asks again, what is the relationship with SAI Global?
We were a part of SAI Global at one stage, but we're now no longer. So Standards Australia is a not-for-profit independent organisation now.
Yep, so that you're completely separate now to SAI Global. Okay, I'm just going to give you a couple more seconds, see if anyone's typing. I don't see any typing bubbles, so I think we might be done for questions, but we will share Monique's contact details. I'm just scrolling here. Nope. When we send out a follow-up email. So let me finish by thanking you very much for your attention. So this session was recorded, and the recording will be up on the AMGC website in the next day or so, along with our previous In Conversation with webinars. So if you would like further information on Standards Australia, please head to their website, which is packed full of information at standards.org.au. Thank you again, Monique, and thank you everyone for joining us in your lunch break for our In Conversation with webinar. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks so much. Looking forward to hearing from everyone soon. Thank you, Charmaine.
Thank you.